kindergarten. This week we are talking about who helps to build a house. So let's go learn 2 new words today because these 2 new words are going to tell us who helps to build a house. The first person who helps us build a house is an architect. Can you say architect? Let's see how many syllables are in that word. Architect. 3 syllables, kindergarten, for architect. Okay, an architect draws the plans so that we know how the house needs to be built. Do you see anybody on this board who's drawing the plans? It would be these awesome ladies right here. These are the architects, kindergarten. They draw up the plans. They draw so they see what the house is going to look like. And then they have to see, well, how many pieces of wood do we need? How many nails are we going to need? So they make all the plans. It's kind of like if you were to follow Lego instructions. Your Lego instructions were made by an architect, a Lego architect, so that you could see which pieces you need to build whatever it is you're building with your Legos. So these are the architects. Okay, next up is electricians. The electricians, I'll give you a hint, work with electricity. Let's see how many syllables are in electricians. Electricians. 4 syllables for electricians. Wow, kindergarten. Do you see anybody who is working with electricity? Do you see anyone working with electricity? It's this guy right here. I know he's working with electricity because he has all these wires. And electricity comes to us in our houses through wires. So the wires have different pieces of metal in them. A lot of the time it'll have like copper in it. And the wire is what brings us the electricity to light our lights, the electricity to run our refrigerators, the electricity to run our computers. The electricity helps us so that we can do all of those things throughout the day that require lights and our refrigerators, our microwaves, our ovens. Everything like that needs electricity. So that's why electricians are really important with our houses too. Our comprehension skill this week, kindergarten, says, I can describe the setting. What does setting mean again? The setting of a story. Right now, I am looking into another room and I see my coffee maker. I see just a pile of dirty dishes. I see this big like box looking thing that keeps all my food cold. I see a bowl of some apples and some bananas. What is the setting that I am looking at right now? Can you use my clues? What is the setting that I'm looking at? I'm looking into my kitchen, kindergarten. From here, I can see right into my kitchen. And yes, my kitchen has this big box that holds all my food and keeps it cold, my refrigerator. I see some food in my kitchen, of course. I see some bananas and some apples, and I see a pile of dirty dishes, kindergarten, because Miss Dollar's been so busy that I'll do those dishes later. And of course, I see my coffee maker. That's my best friend in the morning, kindergarten. So let's go. Let's read our story about Tony and the people that built his house, and let's see his setting. His setting would be his house and his neighborhood. Kindergarten, our story this week is called The House That Tony Lives In. Our author is Anthony Lorenz. He wrote the words. And you know something I noticed? I know, using my background knowledge, things that I already know, that the name Tony is a nickname, or it's short for Anthony. So I kind of wonder if the author wrote this book about himself. How cool, kindergarten. Our illustrator is John Sanford. So what did the illustrator do? He drew all of these awesome pictures. All right, kindergarten, let's get started with our first page. There we go. This is the architect who drew the plans for the house that Tony lives in. So she drew up the plans so they know how to build the house. And there's something else she has here. She made a 3D model. Do you remember our 3D shapes? That would be like our cube and our sphere, our cones. So she made a 3D model. It almost looks like a little dollhouse. So she made it just to see what the house will look like when it's all built. And then they'll know what it's going to be like when it's built and bigger. So she just made a little tiny 3D model. These are the drivers who delivered the supplies to build the house that Tony lives in. Let's see some of the supplies that they need, some of the equipment that they need. So first thing I see is this big excavator. Oh, what do you think they're going to use that for? They need to dig out the basement, kindergarten. Yep, they need to dig out that basement. I do believe this is a cement mixer. What do you think they're going to do with the cement mixer? They're probably going to pour a floor into the basement, and they need to pour the foundation. I see all this wood. What do you think they're going to use all that wood for? To build the walls. Let's keep going. These are the construction workers who built the house that Tony lives in. These are the guys that are actually gonna build the house. Do you see them? They're lifting up the wood. They're wearing their safety equipment. They're wearing gloves and they're wearing their hard hats. They have other tools like this drill right here, this electric drill. They're actually building the house. Oh, look, and they have special belts too. These tool belts help keep their tools close by. These are the electricians who installed the wires in the house that Tony lives in. Do you see wires around your house? That's because they're all inside your wall, kindergarten. All of the wires are inside your walls. So that way they are protected. And they have outlets. Do you know what an outlet is? That's where you plug something in. Make sure that you always have permission from your grown-ups before you plug something in, okay? Because we've got to be careful around electricity. So these outlets connect to the wires that are inside your walls. Did you know you had all those wires inside your walls? These are the plumbers who connected the pipes that bring the water to the house that Tony lives in. Wow, kindergarten. Did you know that your house inside the walls also has pipes? Your walls aren't just there to help keep the house up. They store or protect a lot of the stuff that your house needs, like pipes and electricity. Where are they? What's the setting on this page? What's the setting? It's the bathroom. I know that because there's a toilet. These are the painters who painted the walls in the bedroom of the house that Tony lives in. Whose bedroom do you think this is? There's stars. There are boats here too. Whose bedroom do you think that is? I think that's probably Tony's bedroom. What color is your bedroom? His is blue. What color is yours? When I was a kid, my bedroom what was it first? It was purple, then it was orange, and then it was purple again. I really like purple. These are the landscapers who planted the garden around the house that Tony lives in. Do you have a garden around your house? Do you have landscaping? Landscaping would mean that there are like bushes or flowers close up by your house, not too far away. But the landscaping usually is up by the house. You probably have landscaping other places too, like you can have landscaping around trees or around your mailbox. They just make the house look nice and pretty. These are the movers who brought the furniture into the house that Tony lives in. This says fragile. What does fragile mean? If you're moving something and it's fragile, that means it is delicate. You need to be careful with it. Can you think of anything that is fragile? If you were to move, what would you need to tell the movers is fragile? I'd probably tell them some glass objects are fragile. Like I have glass mixing bowls. Those are fragile. They could break easily. These are the neighbors who live next door to the house that Tony lives in. Kindergarten, I know we can't go and actually like hang out with our neighbors too much right now, but can you wave to your neighbors if you have neighbors close by? I've been waving to my neighbors lately. All the neighbors. What's your favorite thing to do with your neighbors? Or if you had a neighbor, because when I was growing up, I was on a farm and we didn't have neighbors that were right next door. So if you had a neighbor that lived right next door, what would be your favorite thing to do with them? This is Tony's family who lives in the house that Tony lives in. They are having a cookout, kindergarten. My favorite. Oh my goodness. Look at what they're doing. So they have their brand new house and they're all living there. Let's see how many people live in Tony's house. 1, 2, will you count with me? 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like 6 people. It looks like a dad, a mom, Tony, 2 sisters, and I'm going to guess that's his grandpa. All those people live in Tony's house. How many people live in your house? Oh, look at all these people, kindergarten. These are all the people that helped out with Tony's house. This is the architect who drew the plans. There she is. The drivers who delivered the supplies. The construction workers who built the house. The electricians who installed the wires. The plumbers who connected the pipes. The painters who painted the walls. The landscapers who planted the garden. The movers who brought all the furniture. The neighbors who live next door. The family who loves Tony, and the house that he lives in. Kindergarten, that is a lot of people. So, if you built a house, kindergarten, if you built a house, what job would you want in building your house? Would you like to be a landscaper? Would you like to be a painter? Would you like to be the electrician? What job would you like if you built your house? Kindergarten, we are learning so much about building things. We talked about building a school. We talked about how beavers build. Now we're talking about building a house, kindergarten. Oh my goodness. Well, right now you are building up all of those warm fuzzies in this bucket this week, kindergarten. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit.